Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
TransAmerica is one of the easiest board games to kind of digest and play. It's a train game, but not one like the other ones. In this one, you can either lay 2 tracks or 1 track over a double track. Very easy. What can be more simple than that? And you're trying to spread out as you go. This is like the lightest of filler games. It's like the lightest of gateway games. And it's fun. It gives you some experience. You can find yourself doing it over and over again in one night. And then the whole night is gone. And this is one of those games that has fans, and I think that rightfully so it should. But where does it fit in my collection? Well, it really doesn't. Because if I want a train game that's light, I'm probably going to start with Ticket to Ride. Playing with my kids, this Ticket to Ride First Journey. They're moving on Ticket to Ride in the little small box like London and New York, and then we're going up from there. And that kind of pushed this game out for me. Is it less complicated in those games? Absolutely. But I got a 6-year-old and 7-year-old that can handle Ticket to Ride First Journey, can handle Ticket to Ride London and New York, so I'd rather play that than this. Although, it's kind of unfair to really compare them, because this is more like a route builder without drawing the random cards, but Ticket to Ride just replaces it for me completely. And that's just the reality of the situation. That just is. Would I play this? Absolutely. Is it something I'm going to pull off my shelf and recommend? Sadly, no. And that's where it's sat for 8 years, that this sat on my shelf for my last review where I decided to keep it. The Vexation expansion adds a little twist to it where you can play your own color, and I think that's where you want to go at some point. But then there are other times where I like it without that, to be honest. So this is one of those games that just kind of fell off the wayside for me. It doesn't work anymore. I have fun when I play it, but it's not necessarily something I need to keep in my collection. So it'll be a purge. Here we sit 8 years later. Here's TransAmerica. This version comes with the Vexation expansion already in. It's a square little box, about the 2-player Cosmo line size. You're going to get a rule book, which is going to be 1 page. We'll look at in a couple minutes. You're going to get a board, which we'll take a look at in just a second. You're going to get these black tracks that everybody will use in the base game. It's just your regular wooden logs that you'll see. You're going to get little meeples for scoring and some little things that you'll be using, trains for the board. You're going to get cards of different colors, you can see here. And then with the Vexation expansion, you're going to get these wooden markers in your own personal color. That's going to be the expansion. Other than that, that's kind of what you get. Let's take a look at this board. And this board is going to be one-sided. It could have been double-sided. That would have been nice to give you a little something different to look at. This is going to be the American version. There is a European version that is available in a different one. So you're going to see here just a map of America with some lines coming through here in different cities. So that's what you get. All the components are good. Nothing to write home about. Nothing crazy. But for its time period and the size of this game, not too bad. Here's a one-sided rule book. It's only 1 sheet of paper, nothing to fold over. It does tell you how many players. This is great. I've seen this missing on a lot of board game boxes. You're going to get the picture of the components here with everything started. Here is setup. 2 or 3 players have different rules and the goal of the game. On the back, you're going to get all the rules to play. Here's the additional rules for Vexation right here on the back. So the rules are very, very simple when you play this game. Rulebook does a good job of explaining it. Setting the game is very easy. You're going to put 1 marker here, the berry. This will trigger the end of the game. Each player will put their engines down here on the scoring track. Everybody will take a scoring marker in front of them in their own color. And then what you'll do is you'll just kind of shove all these cards off on the table. And everybody randomly takes 1 of each color. So there's 5 different colors. You randomly take 1 of each color. These will have cities on the back of them that you're trying to connect to. So everybody will start the round with 1 of each color, and then you're ready to go. So the goal of the game is you want to connect these 5 cities. In this case, Denver, Minneapolis, Houston, San Diego, and Boston. The players will then set up by putting their start markers on junctures right here. It can be a city if they want it to be. But one of these junctures will be placed out, and this will be the starting location for that player. So on your turn, you can place tracks. Some of these lines are single, some are double. You can place 2 tracks, 1 or 2, on the single lines, or you can place 1 track on one of these double lines. Double lines represent tunnels or mountains or things that you have to build. So those are your options. Only problem is everything you build must come from your starting location. So if you're there, then I could place it on the next turn like there. And I could build out. I wouldn't be able to build over here because it doesn't connect to my starting location. Very simple on how you play these tracks. So when somebody connects all 5 cities, then the round will end. And anybody who didn't connect, you would lose a point for every single that you didn't connect. So in this case, I didn't get to Oklahoma City, let's say that'd be 1 point. If it's a double line, you lose 2 points. You simply move your guy back on this track. And that will continue for all 5 cities you did not connect. The game ends when somebody hits this barrier. Then whoever has the most points, i.e. they didn't get the negative points during the game, will be the winner, in this case, red. So that's kind of how it goes. So you're going to lose points. You don't necessarily gain points for connecting these. You lose points for not connecting them. If at the end of a round somebody did not touch the barrier, you get 5 new cards, set up the game again, and continue to play until somebody does that. So the Vexation expansion gives you 3 tracks that are only used. So normally people would be sharing these black ones, but if you had played your own color, only you can use it. So you can block people from using them. That's what this adds in, the Vexation expansion. Everybody just gets 3 each. Who should buy this game? Wow. So you don't want to play Ticket to Ride. Maybe that's too complicated. Maybe you want something else. You want that, just play a couple routes down and try to score that way. Very, very, very simplistic game. Maybe something to play with the kids. Light filler. Something to unwind at the end of the night. You really like those lighter games. And for some reason, you just want to pull Ticket to Ride out, which has more to it. But, you know, you're really centering down here on ease of play. And I think that's this is going to appeal for. If you never played it, I think you should absolutely check this out. Very solid. And in the past, it's been a very popular game. It has an expansion. It has a second set that came out. So it's not like this is something that was just churned out. In its day, very popular game, but not one that I need anymore. So it'll be a purge for me.